Oh,
There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, brother Ravi.
yeah. Hello, brother. What a pleasure to meet you, John.
It's so good to catch up with you. We haven't spoken now for it must be 6 months or more since we've had a chance to chat. It's like a year
Yes,
can go by like this, and you're doing your things and doing your things. Everybody's doing their things, and you lose touch, and you're focusing on your practices and your habits and your health, and you're becoming a better person, you're working on being a better person, and you're striving for these things, and everybody is striving for these things. So it's good to connect with brothers, other brothers who are doing this work and working on themselves and making themselves better energetically, working on
yes,
themselves from the inside, brother.
brother.
This is it, brother.
Yes, and
Vibrant
you.
spirit. You always, people will know him of the vibrant spirit. Brother
Thank you,
Ravi.
John.
Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you, John. Actually, each and every moment is an opportunity to learn in life, and each and every person which whom we meet in our life serves as a motivation to learn. And you are one of those because you have been doing this unselfish, this selfless service with your group, who which has really touched many people's hearts, which has transformed many lives, which has inspired many people. And I've been, of course, we haven't talked face to face, but yes, I've been always following your group and the way you motivate, with your movements, the daily movements, with the practices, with the fasting practices which you teach every day, with, of course, the self love, many things. Thanks for being part of my life, brother.
Aha. I appreciate you, brother. This is it. It's when, we have brothers coming together with loving intention, that when you come together with those intentions, that we can learn and grow from one another. That's how it happens. From
Yes, brother. Yes,
sharing, right? Through
yes,
relationship, through dialogue, through relationship. So, what's getting together, we've been, you know, working on our goals and our best for the year. It's good to catch up and say, hey, what have you been doing? What's been happening? I know you've been on a little pilgrimage. I love retreat. I've always been passionate about retreat for the last decade. Tell me about your pilgrimage that you've just been on, Ravi, and what did you find and what did you do and what's over there and what was so good about it, Ravi?
I've been to some places and down south of India, actually. Basically, I'm from South India as well, and there are many beautiful places where we can connect to nature. Uh, the thing is, we focus on fasting, which is really good, but there is again a famous quote that we are what we eat. So it's simple, but the Buddhism, it classifies your body into not only the physical body, but there is this, in addition to the physical body, there is an etheric or subtle body, there is an emotional or astral body, a mental body, a causal body, a spiritual body, and a divine body. So these are the various bodies which are deep inside the physical body. So it is nothing but a form of light. So
So what
the
do you think,
environment,
just to push on that a little bit, this is a concept here. This is an energy body, an etheric
yes,
body, a spiritual body, an astral body. These are missing from Western education. Like the Western mind,
yes,
the
it is true.
educational system doesn't teach
Mm,
emotional health. Like emotions don't matter. Like only thing that matters is production, like the masculine, like getting the job done. Like we eliminate the need for the human aspect or the feeling aspect, and we don't need to focus on that. But then what happens, 40, 50, middle age, we start to break down, our health starts to decline, And then you start to see that all of this emotional stuff has been trapped, lodged in the body. It's really emotional stuff that's been ignored all along, that's been affecting all of these astral body, emotional body, etheric body. Other bodies are being, your energetic bodies are being blocked
Yeah.
up. In Chinese
Yes.
medicine, in Eastern thought, they talk about energy meridians and they have this concept of energy. In Western thought, they have no concept of this energy. And so they go, what are you talking about over there? Right? They don't get that.
Well, yes, it is true.
There's a
It is true that
division. They
this,
separate. They can't understand that. This is the problem
yeah,
with the Western mind. This is the problem with the educated mind. And the educated
unfortunately.
mind, automatically tunes out as soon as you start talking about astral body, etheric body. They're like, what is this? This is almost like it's bad because it's Eastern.
Yes, it is
This is
Eastern,
the
but
Western mind. This is the
to
educated mind.
make it easy, we can just focus on, you know, the the subtle body, or which you can call it the energy body or the light body, which you can call. So, yes, in Christianity, they have even shown that the angels moving, the angels in Christianity, they talk about the angels who are nothing, but the light bodies. So it is nothing but if in natural medicine, when we talk about the natural health, we can talk about this biophotons. So everyone, so all
Yes,
this etheric
yes.
body is just the merging of the
So this
biophotons.
is it. If you're talking to the pranic community, then yes, you can talk about etheric body, you can talk about astral body, you can talk about emotional body, you can talk about energy bodies, and
Yeah.
they receive
Yes.
this openly. The pranic
Yes.
community does. But then you see the weight loss community or the disease community, the health community, like cancer patient. You see, they're coming from a medical approach, a very science-based understanding. This is an educational understanding towards their health and their health trouble. They don't have this right mind, Eastern mind. They do not have concept of right mind. They do not have
Yes.
concept of stacking mind on top of mind to create success. This concept is missing in the Western mind.
Yes, it is true. But these things are the things which need to be experienced. So on the experienced, so that is the reason why people like you are teaching about the more and more subtle forms of food. Now we have been with this junk food always in the Western where they call the sad or standard American diet, which they talk about. It is very materialistic food, which the junk food, which can even cause more harm than good. But again, yeah, fortunately, we have health coaches like you. We have even people like Jesse or even Matsu. We have got Ellen, people who are talking about natural health. So they are moving from this gross to subtle forms of food. So yes,
It's to find awareness of these more subtle bodies, these different energy
yes,
bodies that we have. So
yeah,
coming to subtler food gives us an awareness of some other things within. Then we become open to the possibility of there being, oh, wait a second, there's different subtle parts to myself, and maybe I can adjust or work with these different parts of myself, or maybe things aren't exactly the way that I've always thought that they were. So it sort of opens up the mind a little bit. To come out of mind is what has to happen. We have to get a little shift out of mind a little bit.
it's true because for everything there's a process, and the thing is when we focus on the process, the results they take care of themselves. And the journey of spirituality or the self journey starts from the physical to subtle. So if we talk, if we now just want to talk it in terms of elements or the nature, uh, the spirituality, or even if you take Ayurveda into context, they classify, of course, we all know the five elements here. So for elements, they do have a certain hierarchy from physicality to that of subtlety. For example, earth is the most dense form of the element, isn't it so? Earth is the most dense form of element. So the hierarchy comes so that it moves from dense to subtle. So even from this, even these five elements, even in this context of five elements, they can go from dense to subtle. So the first form is that of earth, which is even visible, which is more dense. So it comes first. And the second thing is water. That is the reason water is three times more to that of earth. So on in this planet, 3:1 ratio, the water to the earth is 3:1 ratio. That is the reason water is more subtle. It is three times more to that of earth, and it is more powerful than earth. Water movement can affect the mud, so the earthly matter. In the same way, there is air again. Here, one thing to be noted is the more subtle the element, the more working capacity it has. The working field of the element increases directly to proportionally to that of the subtlety here. So the third most powerful element here is air. So the air is even more powerful and it influences the movement of the water here, isn't it so? The air, it is even more subtle to that of water.
Yes,
So we
more
can't
subtle,
see
more
this.
subtle. Yes.
Yeah, we can't see it. We can't see the air. We can only feel the air, but it still exists. And the more which we can't see, it becomes more powerful here. And the air, it even affects the movement of the water because of the wind, because of the breeze. That's why air is more powerful. And the working field of air is even more powerful than water. So water here has just capacity of 3/4, and the earth is just 1/4. Okay, but still the air is everywhere. The air is everywhere. It covers even more. The working capacity, the working field is even more than that of earth and water. And the fourth element here can be called as sun. That is the reason sun can cover even more planets than even earth. That is the reason it is the nucleus of the solar system. And it is even far more powerful. And the fifth one is the ether, which even accommodates each and everything. So ether is everywhere, the universe, the infinity, which you can call. So that is the reason the journey of spirituality is the physical to subtle. That is the reason they call it. So here, now if we come to the nourishment aspect here. So it's not only about the physical food. So it is more about the subtle food. So here, that is why the Buddhism, they classified the types of food into four. One is the edible food, which we consume into this physical body, which the body assimilates, converts into the enzymes. You know, this is the sort of the first food. Maybe it may be fruits, or it may be pizza or burger, whatever you take. Second thing is the sense impressions, the sensual thing. This is one sort of nutrition again. The things which we feel, which we hear. So these things. So the third thing is volition. So it is like what we want in life, what we prioritize in life. This becomes a form of nutrition again, because sometimes we are, unconscious about what we think, unconscious about what we feel, or unconscious even about what we want in life. We just go on thinking, and it becomes a pattern again. So whether be it positive or negative, so this is the thing. But still we are being fed because of what we feel here. And the fourth and the most important thing is consciousness here. So the reality is that we are a pure consciousness here, isn't it so? We are consciousness. So we need to be always, mindful of the fact that we are consciousness. We are the powerful form of being here, and that is where the practice of meditation comes into play. The more mindful we are, that is the reason you teach mindfulness every day. So mindfulness is the most important form of practice here. The more we practice this mindfulness, uh, you know, we can feel this consciousness. We can feel that we are the pure consciousness. So consciousness here can be individual or collective. Again, collective consciousness is again, sometimes we stay in a group, we get carried away by the vibrations or the environment over there. But still, we are being fed by the people, by the surroundings, by the music. The music may be toxic or pleasant, but again, the energy body is being fed by the sounds. The energy body is being fed by the light, whether it is pure sunlight or the junk light. So each and everything is form of nutrition. So it is most important that we take break from our daily life and go and get connected to the nature. Stay away from the people. Just go and practice solitude. Go into the nature. Feel the pure sun onto your body, onto your bare body. Feel the pure, nature. Uh, just hear the pure music of water running, the waterfalls, the birds singing. So these are some form of nourishment. And one more practice is meditation, where we can connect to our own self. This is one of the most powerful practices. So it's all about practice, brother. It's all about practice. That is the reason I've taken a break from the world, and I've taken a break on a retreat where I have traveled. I met with many people. I shared some knowledge. I listened to the knowledge. So it's my journey, which I'm always, I'm always excited about. And yes, the live videos which you make every day, they teach me, they inspire me. One thing here I want to add is I want to, this year has been very tough because I lost my father and I lost so much of time, missing him. And again, I thought I want to go on a retreat. I want to get back to the drawing board. I want to take charge of my life. I want to, put my life on the track again. So it's about taking charge of what you want in your life.
It is this, brother. Yes. We have to go through some lament, though.
Sorry, brother.
There has to be some sadness or some sorrow or some lament. There has to be some. This is like a motivation. It's an inspiration when something goes wrong. Like sometimes we need something to go wrong for us to go into this type of pilgrimage into ourself. Like the motivation to change, like the pain of staying the same has to be worse than the pain of change, because it's going to hurt to stay the same, or it's going to hurt to change. So this is when I move forward, because like this is just too painful anymore. I can't keep doing this. I must do something else. Now I've got to find what else to do. And we go on this, I need to find what is the right thing for me to do. So person is telling me this person is telling me this person is telling me this. So you following this person and this person and this person for a while, a year, maybe 2 years, you could follow this person or this person until you recognize that, you know what? Nobody out here can tell me what I have to do in here.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It's about you have to determine in your life what you want in your life.
Decide for yourself. You have to decide
For
for
yourself.
yourself.
Yes.
Enough of this bullshit.
So here, one question for you, John. One question for you is, I heard about your journey of depression, and you had twice battled, mm, you know, insolvent. You have become insolvent twice in your life. So you come back, you bounce back into your life, like a boomerang, and you had this 180-degree turn in your life. So how did you battle this depression? How did you battle the anxiety?
This is it, brother. Just like, how did you battle the loss of your father? Like, it's like you can battle it for a while, right? You battle it for a while, and then for some years you battle these things. This is how we are. When we're young, we starting into something, we battle it. We battle the life.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
masculine. This is how we start everything. Battling, battling, and battling.
Yes.
It's a younger mind. And then
Yeah.
once we battle for a while, we try to push the waves. We try to push the wall. We try to push the earth. We see we cannot push the earth or the rock. We cannot move it. We have to come like in harmony with it. It's like after a
Yeah.
time of sitting with it, say 7 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, sitting with something that's troubling you, that
Yes.
over a time that you come to balance that, harmonize with that, like accept that in your life. I think you just come
Yes.
to find peace with it, right? Like, this is in me, this happened to me. It's not like, oh, I love that this happened to me. No, I don't love that this happened to me, but it created me, and it created a fire in me, and I'm grateful
Yeah.
for the fire that I have in me, and I'm going to do something really good with that fire that I've got inside of me now. It's like just redirecting your pain. Like, some people have a pain and trouble in their life, and then they go into like, oh my gosh, I had a pain and a trouble, and oh my gosh, I had a pain and a trouble, and they do this for 30 years. I had a pain and a trouble, I had a pain and a trouble. But you can drag that out. Like, yes, we all deserve to be victims. Sometimes we're
Yeah.
victims in our life. But for how long you decide to be a victim is up to you. And sometimes, however, things get blocked, like you don't even know. Like, it's in your subconscious or your unconscious that you've got like trauma there. Like, there's emotional stuff that's in your unconscious. You aren't aware of it. It's there, and it's a blind spot for you, and you don't even
True,
know
brother.
about it until something happens. Then it triggers this response in you. Then you're like railed by it. So there is trauma that we are aware of, and there is trauma that's even unconscious in us.
Yes.
But as we move towards the light body, as we cleanse out our body, as we rise up in thought and word and habit and behavior and practice on a daily basis, and our frequency comes higher, our vibration comes up, our feeling body grows, our astral body grows. We grow etherically, or inside of ourself, we grow. So it's like we opening up our eye bigger inside.
Yes.
The
So
eye
it's like,
inside can see more.
yes, brother. Yes,
Looking
that is the reason.
inward. Yes, this is looking in.
So it is like fasting from the mental toxins, in addition to in addition to the physical toxical food. This is also fasting from the mental toxins, which you're talking about, because we need to choose what we want in your life. It's not that we want to go into this cycle of the melancholy feelings, or the anger, or the guilt, or sometimes the feeling of shame, which happens, so these things happen like a cycle. They can pull you into the quagmire of these feelings. They can take you into the cycle and you don't even know where you're gone. And again, that's again where conscious thinking comes into play. So that is the reason, brother. I felt that self-talk, the practice of self-talking has helped me a lot, because the fact it is that life does not want to punish you. It does want to teach you. Life's teaching you always. It's not punishing you. We only, the problem is that we take our thoughts too seriously, but we need not take the mind too seriously here. So there are various layers on the subconscious mind which gives these triggers, and we feel that what we are feeling is the reality. But the reality is that we are pure consciousness, and these things are just small distractions which eventually go away.
We get triggered by these things in our day, but we need to come back to this awareness, and you already said it. It's to come to that awareness of your consciousness more often. So you get caught up in the story of your day, of your life, of your lament, of your trouble. You get caught up in your trouble consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously. You're in it. You're in your trouble. You're feeling it. You're in that energy body. You're carrying that, and you don't like it. And so you're not liking yourself. You're not liking your life. You feel like you're a victim of your life. We all get into this. But even if we can sit in presence of it and with it, like there is even a peace that we can find in it, and that's what has to happen. Like we keep falling into it until we can learn to find some sort of peace and ease in it. And then when we can, then it's gone. Like sometimes it takes a very long time. I tell you, my mother passed when I was 19, and it made me very angry, and it sent me out into my life in a way. And it wasn't until after 45 that I started to put this together in my life, that I was missing this and how it was missing. And it's just my father and I having a talk just on Father's Day weekend just passed, where, I'm relating to him at 50. Like I could never speak to my father in my life, having the best conversation with my father in my life at 50, finally. So, I mean, maturity, like we need to sometimes go through these paths in our life. Like it's not a bad thing even to be in a reaction in our life. I went into a reaction about my mother, and it led me down some dark paths. And you know what? And I made some mistakes, and I lost some things, but I learned some really important things. So was it lost? No, it's never lost if you look at it and you go, I learned from that, and this is what I learned. And as long as I pull out what I learned and I apply it, then you never lost anything, no matter which way you went. You know what I mean? Like it's like you can't make a mistake, but you're worried for the mistake. You're worried for the mistake. You're looking for the answer outside. You're trying to ask somebody else to tell you how to not make a mistake. Never mind, you can't get the answer outside. The only answer is inside. The only answer is inside. You have to open up your eye and use your mind to see. If you keep looking out at the physical for your answer, for your nourishment, for your food, for your fun. And it's not that I'm saying either that we cannot have food or we cannot have fun. But you know what? The true ultimate fun, and I think we need to ultimately see that, is that true ultimate fun is inside of yourself.
inside of yourself. Yes.
And we need to do that every day. You talked about
Yes.
meditation. Like, that's what I'm saying. You need to honor your inside every
Inside.
day.
Wonderful, brother. Yeah, it is right, because the mind, it always creates a filter in our consciousness, and depending upon what we think, what we feel, what you hear sometimes. So this
Triggered.
filter needs to be cleaned each and every day. So that is where the practice of self-love comes into play. So self-love is nothing but valuing yourself, valuing your principles, valuing your ideals, valuing what you want to do in your life. And that is where the practice comes into play. So meditation again is also a practice, brother. So I have had my troubles, sitting in meditation because the monkey mind, but the practice has made it easier. I made peace with myself. I made peace with the fact there's a practice again of self-acceptance here. So whatever I am, I've accepted myself. I've accepted that I'm a pure being again. Sometimes, as I've told you, that there will be layers coming out and saying that you're bad, or, this self-hate. And I've devised few steps in which I made my meditation easy. So it's about practicing it regularly. In addition to the physical movement, meditation is again the mental movement. It's like what you want to do in your life, and when you do it with focus and love, it's not like meditation has to become a joyful journey. It's not like we are putting too much stress. We have to do it with love, and that's the important thing, brother. And I've been doing it since a decade. Practicing it, making baby steps, taking baby steps into my journey, and inculcating it, and enjoying the journey. That is where, uh, you know. So I have initially started with the guided meditations, and then slowly, as I transcend it, I can design my own guided meditation. It happens. Meditation is
Yes,
nothing,
it
but it
comes from
happens
within how
naturally.
to do that with time and
Yes.
practice that starts to develop. But yeah, wonderful to begin with some YouTube videos for meditation, or even
Yeah.
just beginning with like a breath work, like even a Wim Hof breath work. If you've done
Of
that
breath work.
10-minute, 11-minute Wim Hof breath work, and we can put a link associated with this video as well for that. And then just sitting with that inspired, invigorated, oxygenated mind, and just being sitting there, because you've been a bit of an elation after a breath work session, an exercise session. It's a great time, a yoga session. It's a great time to
Yeah.
just sit and
I would love to do the breathwork sessions with you, even, brother. We can even schedule for the breathwork sessions as well, because I do practice some breathworks, pranayamas, the ancient Indian pranayamas,
well, that's
which
what we should do then, brother. Why don't you take me through a pranayama breathwork session? Why don't we do that together? Why don't you do that with me? Why don't we schedule that? Is that something we could do?
we can do, brother. We can do it. We can plan for this as well, because we can take it step by step.
Let's
There are some
try a
pranayamas.
breathwork session, or let's try like and I would love to do an exercise session with you, brother. So, I mean, that would be
Oh,
something.
why not, brother? I'm
Why
open for
not do
everything.
that, brother? Why not do a breathwork session together and do a exercise movement session together? Why wouldn't we do that together for each other, brother? This would be a good thing for us to do.
Yes,
That's
yes,
an
yes.
excellent, that's an
We can,
excellent
we
thing.
can, we can do this Wim Hof breathing, which you have suggested. We can even uh, do this pranayama, pranayamas together. We can do this, brother. We can definitely schedule this.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think that's an awesome idea. If it's something that we're, kind of working on energy together, growing energy together, building energy together. This is like, we're bringing our energies together, two brothers supporting one another. This is energy
Yeah.
building. This is a positive thing, a good thing for us to keep.
Breath work and energy goes hand in hand because breath work is the fundamental thing. So,
Breath is the thing.
con-
It's about the breath. This
yeah,
is about moving
yes,
energy with the breath. The breath is life. The breath
yes,
moves the energy body, the ethereal body, the astral body, the feminine body, the parasympathetic system is managed by the
perfection.
breath. This is what has to
Yes,
happen. We have to get more awareness, more conscious
yes,
awareness of our breaths and what we're
yes,
thinking while we breathe. It matters. What you're entertaining in mind while you breathe makes all the difference in what you are creating in your life. And this is it. It's to be a little more aware, a little bit more aware of what you're thinking and saying and doing on a moment to
yes.
moment basis. This is just a bit more
Deep
self
breathing,
awareness.
deep breathing is always important, brother. So, observing where our breath is going inside our body holds the key. So, we're just inhaling deeply right into our chest, right into our belly, and holding the breath again, and then breathing to the Holy Trinity, like the belly breathing, the chest breathing, and your mind breathing. I mean, feeling it into your head. This is the Holy Trinity, breathing through the Holy Trinity. Deep breathing into the belly and right into your chest and right into your third eye. This is the region which you even call it as Agya Chakra. So this is, there are various techniques in this breathing, like, the skull busting technique, which you call the Kapalbhati. So these are the techniques which activate the energy body and it serves as a platform for meditation. This is definitely the one which I'm really excited about, brother. We can definitely schedule for it.
This is posture. This is awareness. This is flexion, extension through the spine. This is proper alignment of postural muscles. This is releasing pain, tension, emotional and physical detoxification through breath. The breath is the best detoxification organ. The lungs are the
Yes,
greatest detoxification organ. The breath is your
yes,
biggest
and
movement
and they
of
produce
breath. You can't
and they
live
produce
4 minutes
most of
without
the
breath.
DMT. They produce your lungs produce the most DMT, dimethyltryptamine. The thing which gives you the most joy. The DMT, the lungs produce most DMT. So the more we practice this breath work, the more DMT is produced, which gives you the orgasmic feeling while you meditate. This is one of the things which I
This is
experienced, brother.
endorphins. This is increasing and releasing endorphins in the body. This is changing brain neurotransmitters. This is creating happy, healthy thoughts and feelings in the body and life. It's moving and breathing. It's deep
Yes,
breathing and moving. It's breath work. It's positive thought and word. It's a healthy food. It's healthy natural foods. It's a healthy
healthy natural
lifestyle.
food.
It's not about perfection. It's about working on your very best. It's about
Yes,
getting and working on your best every day. These are the things that we do. It's about relationship. It's about dialogue. It's about communication. It's about accountability. It's about responsibility. It's about, this is it. Yeah, man.
this is it, brother. This is it.
Yeah.
So again, there is one of the beautiful practices which I like. Is Qigong is one of the practices,
Mm.
brother. Qigong is one of the practice where you can feel the energy ball. You can feel the consciousness expanding. There are many teachers, of course. Eli Tom is one who has taught the Qigong in
Qigong
addition to
is
the
wonderful because
microcosm.
it's not too complicated. I did Tai Chi for a number of years, but it's a big thing to learn all of those Tai Chi movements. Whereas
Yes,
Qigong, you could learn the Qigong movements in a very relatively short time, but then
yes,
it's the practice of Qigong that builds the energy body. You have to
yes,
practice this. You become a Qigong master. You can just know know the martial arts, or you can know the movements. It's a different thing to throw the punch one time, 10 times, but the master has thrown it so many times. It's a different thing. It's the repetition of the
Yes.
punch many times
Yeah.
that the master throws all of his power through his fist. This is a repetition that causes this to happen. It's a practice. That's how
Yes.
you
Practice.
change your life. You practice changing your life. You get up
Yes.
again, put your pants on again, and you say, look, I'm changing my life again today. I'm working on getting myself better today. This is what I'm doing today. This is what it's about.
Yes, brother. True. Because it is these energy practices, they help you alter your DNA sometimes, because most of the people are affected by their compulsive behavior. It's not them, but again the impressions in the DNA, they trigger you. So these practices like Qigong, the movement which you teach, the mindfulness, the meditation, semen retention again, and exposure to sun, fasting, so Fruitarianism, juicing. So these are the practices which can create the cosmic DNA inside you. So they can make your life more easy. It's not like sometimes they bring the cosmic smile into your being. So this is what these practices. It's just been a couple of years I've been into this journey, brother. But yes, I can
You feel
definitely tell
this
you.
growing in you. You feel this growing in
Yeah,
you now. Right. This is it. You
going
started to
inside.
become aware of an energy body growing inside of myself. So I'm getting my joy and my happiness from what I feel happening inside of me and not from what is happening around me. This is like I'm developing a new relationship with myself, and this grows. And as I
This
grow
grows.
this, it's a little garden inside of me. It's a little child I'm growing inside of me. And as I grow this inside of me, as this grows inside of me over the next short while, watch what happens to this little child inside that grows up to be a big man now. Watch what's going to come from this. You see, if you build
Then
that lifestyle, that discipline, brother, you've done it well, brother.
the joy becomes natural. Joy. So there is a difference between pleasure and joy again. Joy comes naturally when you see a child. They're happy for no reason.
It's internal.
They're happy for, yes, it's internal. You
It's
feel like you're
principle
an
centered.
ecstatic being. Yes.
It's
We
nature.
feel like,
It's nature.
the
It's
nature.
free. It's like
Yes.
a flower. It's like a
Like a
flower. It's like a
flower.
bird. It's like a song. It's like the feminine. It's the woman. This is what it is. It's
Woman.
beautiful. This is what it is. It's life. This is what life is. It's nature. It's a song. It's a bird. It's a woman. It's feminine. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. This is life. It is the feminine body. It is the
Feminine
emotional
body.
body. It's the astral body. This is the physical body. This is the parasympathetic body. This is the gut brain. This is
Yes.
inside of your body. It's affected the smooth muscle of your intestine. Of all of your vessels inside of your lungs. They vasoconstrict and vasodilate. They just constrict and dilate depending on your adrenaline, depending on your epinephrine, norepinephrine. This is endocrine function. This is a parasympathetic system is running on endocrine function and brain neurotransmitter function. And the masculine, the mind, the thinker, is nervous system. This is operating on the nervous system, the masculine system. This is the thinker. This is the overriding fight or flight that we're stuck in, the story that we're all stuck in mind. We need to override the masculine mind. We need to come into the feminine body. This is the imagination. This is a hopeful vision. This is a creative, hopeful vision. This is seeing the glass half full. This is coming out of the pessimistic trouble that you are in and refocusing yourself again. I am not a victim of my life. I am the victor of my life.
Yes. I like that you talk about this masculinity and femininity, brother. So why don't you with your own experience and your knowledge, why don't you please elaborate on the two poles of masculinity and femininity? There are two poles to it. So
This
as you
is
say,
it, brother. This is it, brother, that there is two sides to ourself.
yes,
There is, I've often called it left and right brain, but really it's brain and head and brain and body. It's like you see as above, so below. The brain in the intestine looks just like the brain in the head. This is feminine
yes,
brain, body brain. Okay, it is run by, a different system. It's not the nervous system, it's the endocrine and the brain neurotransmitter system. This is the feeling system.
feeling system.
This is the feeling system. When you start to feel things, you affecting your endocrine function, you're affecting your brain neurotransmitter function by feeling it. Now, if you can arrive with your masculine decision to create this feeling, you align what you need to think about to make the feeling, then the body subconsciously has reprogrammed itself to run in balance, in harmony, to think the things I want to do to make me my best, to think and say the things I want to do to make me into my very best self again today. Every day, wanting to do the things. So the desire, the feminine desire, the feeling to do the things that the masculine knows it needs to do. When we are in alignment, we're in harmony between the two sides of self. The decision, I am getting healthy, I want to be healthy. This is how I take action on my health. I believe that I will be healthy rather than worrying about my health. You see, it's different. I'm looking for the answer for my health. I'm looking for the answer. No, I am the answer for my health. I am the answer for my life, and I will correct my health or my life or my wealth or my relationship or whatever I need to correct. I will correct it. It's decision making. It's creative vision building. That's something you need to do on a daily basis.
True, brother. That's true. Perfect. That's it, brother. Oh, I am always inspired by reading books, brother. That is the reason why these things have, there's Hilton Hotema, where man's higher consciousness is one of the books which has definitely inspired me. There are some other books where the pranic community has written. There is, of course, Mr. Fabi. There is Dr. Fabi, who is a young breatharian practitioner by himself, who has written a beautiful book. So yes, this pranic community has really contributed. In our life, it's people just who enter this pranic lifestyle. They just concentrate more on fasting, but there's more to fasting. We should concentrate on. We should concentrate on the mental being. So the backup is spirituality, the spiritual practices which we do, or whatever the energy practices which we do, they serve as the nucleus to this fasting lifestyle. This is what I have definitely felt, because stress or self-hate is something which we have been inflicting upon ourselves since the ages. This stress, it clogs up the physical system and it hardens up the mucus, whereas guilt and shame, they feeds the lower chakras of our being. So that is the reason which it is more important to practice breathwork and meditation, as you have told. So it charges up the femininity in ourselves, the divine feminine in ourselves. So the more we practice this, it helps up, feminine is the doer, whereas the masculine, it's more
Yes.
about thinking.
Yes,
The
this is that.
feminine part is
It's
like
to know to
doing.
open the energy body. This is to work on the feminine energy body, the imagination,
Yes,
the feeling body. But
yes,
it needs to grow. Like it doesn't.
it needs to
You
grow.
need to grow it. Like you need to
Yes,
nurture it, like a little garden. Like you got to toil it. You got to water
yes,
that garden. Like you got to keep on watering it. Like if you keep watering the garden, and you give it good light, and you give it good care, then the garden grows up nice and big and it grows beautiful, the garden. If you
yes,
just take
brother.
care of it, but you can't really make it grow faster, right? How to make it grow faster? How to make it grow faster? I want to make it grow faster, but how to make the garden grow faster though, really? Like you can put a little bit of fertilizer on the garden, but the
Yes,
garden didn't grow. It just kind of grows like this. It grows
yes,
like
brother.
this is how it grows, like you cannot make it more. You cannot give it more. Sometimes you just have to let it happen and just work with the garden. Like this is it. Like let's work a bigger garden together. By putting our gardens together, we make a bigger garden together. That's
Yes,
how we do it, brothers,
that's
right?
how we do it.
That's how brothers
Yes,
do it. You bring your fires together. Everyone, huddle up. Bring your fire over. Look, bring your fire. Warm your toes. Everybody, warm your toes. Everybody, get some fire. This is how we do it. We talk
that is
about it.
how we do.
Yes, we come together, we talk about it, we have relationships, we share about it. We have to bring a new mind. There's a miseducation that's happened. Like the education is misdirecting. It's taking you away from emotional body. There is no education teaching the emotional body or the feminine body. No, we're just disregarding this. We're talking about the physical body, the cells. We're talking about the cellular body, the cellular structure, the protein of the structure of the cell that needs this, it needs that, and so it needs to eat this way, and it needs to have these things, and it must live on this street and wear that fur coat and da 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 da. This is what the mind body does. This is what the mind does. It keeps up with the Joneses. It keeps following the television. It keeps buying all of the newest thing. This is what the mind does. This is why they want to program the mind this way. So it keeps on doing this, just buying, 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 buying more shit. Like, truthfully, this is not going to make us happy. And the only thing that will ever make us happy is to find that happiness is inside of you and that you are
Yes,
in complete control of it. When you can turn out the outside and you can turn inside, you will find it. And that means turn off everything outside and look inside. That's where it is. It's in
that's
your
where it is.
inside, your vision to look inside. That's where the joy is. Right?
Joy has to happen
We're
naturally.
sovereign. This is it. This is our sovereignty. This is our autonomy. It's within the self, right? To take charge of the self for yourself on a daily basis. That is your power. That is your free will. That is your choice in life.
True, brother. That is one of the things is consistency in the routine. That's the reason. So the more consistent we are to the cause, that is the reason accountability is the key. And this is where the collective consciousness comes into play. The group which you created is definitely more, it has made us more accountable. This is one of the experience which I can tell you by joining the group. So by joining this bandwagon, I felt myself more accountable to what I should do. I felt myself more responsible.
Well,
That
this is
I
what
have
we
to.
do, brother. We need to make the group. We need to make a group of people bringing their fires together on a weekly basis, coming, bringing their fire, sharing their fire. Everyone is putting their fire in.
Yes,
Everyone brings the fire. Hey, bring your fire over here. Everyone, bring your fire over here. We light a big fire. This is how you do it.
yes, true, brother. So that
Everybody's
everyone can
lighting a
have a
fire for
dialogue.
each other.
We can have good communication. We can have dialogue. We can bring new things to the table. We can inspire each other. So it is like contributing to the higher energies, to consciousness.
It's
I appreciate
time,
you, brother.
brother. It's time. Ring the bell. Ring the bell, brother.
Yes, brother.
Okay, brother. Ring the bells.
Okay.
Ring the bells. I have to run, but we will talk on Messenger for more for our
Yes,
next
brother. Sure.
plan, brother.
Definitely, brother. Definitely.
We will
Thank you.
talk
Thank you
about
for.
our next plan, and I'll send you a copy of this. I love you, my brother.
Thanks a lot, brother. It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure talking to you. Namaste.
Namaste.